So just for you to know, we are live right now, and this video is recorded and we are live. If you have no interest in having your interview conversations recorded, you have this moment to withdraw or to exit the group. Otherwise, your being here is simply an acceptance of the condition that this video is being aired live as we are speaking. So your personal information will not be part of this conversation, just for you to know that. So you're all welcome to this visa interview. Anyone who wants to go first, I'm ready when you're ready. So do we all agree to go ahead? All right. So let me know how many people who wants to go for interview first. Do we have an okay? Opeoluwa Chijoke, Imisola Ayedele. Okay, 4 people. And then do we have anybody or people who are going for next week? Next week. Okay. So next week Wednesday. Anybody next week? Okay, Chijoke next week. Udwak next week. Ayedele next week.
Okay. I'm going this week.
This week when?
Friday.
Okay, are you doing this week Friday? I'll start with you. So I'm also praying and hoping that all of you would get successful as you get to that embassy. So let me post into the group. Let me post across this. Please, can you turn off your phone? The noise from your phone is too much. I mean, turn off the just mute your microphone. That's what I mean. Okay. Okay, I just shared in the group our link. So please click on the link and please join me on YouTube. Subscribe, like, and share. Please do that quickly in the next 1 minute, if you don't mind. Please, if you don't mind, just engage with the YouTube channel, just to help in the.
The link has not dropped, sir.
It has dropped. I just sent it into the chat. I sent it into the chat. Have you seen it?
Oh, yes, sir. You just go to your page and do that.
Okay. Yeah. Either ways.
Yeah.
Either ways, should be able to get that quickly. All right. All right. Just engage the channel. Thank you, Ayodele Femi. Thank you so much. God bless you too. Once you engage it, let me know. Then I'll continue from there. Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you so much. If you don't mind doing it now, because once we begin, you may forget it. That's why I usually, take a little time out to encourage people to just go in. So um, I'll begin with the first person. Who is the first person? Who is going this week on Friday? No, someone is going this week. So I'll begin with the person going this week.
I'm going this week, sir.
Okay.
I'm going on Thursday as well.
Oh, Thursday. Okay. All right. The people going this week. So the first person, Chijoke, and the second person, who else? Who mentioned? So I'll take this week first, then the next person. Okay. Just know that this week first. All right. I believe you've all gone to that gone to the YouTube and just subscribed and liked, and then click the button. Okay. All right, Chijoke, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. Is this your first visa interview?
Yes, it's my first and last anniversary.
Okay. Have you traveled out of the country before?
Yes, I have. In 2015, I traveled to Ghana where I represented my school in a religious conference.
All right. Where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to East Tennessee State University to pursue a master's degree in computer and information science with a concentration in cloud computing and data management.
Is this your first interview with me? Okay, so if this is your second, please can you use just try and use some of the rules of engagement. I usually encourage people, do not try to show desperation by talking too much. Rather, regulate what you say. Don't answer what you're not asked to answer. Don't say what you're not asked to say. Usually, when they ask you where are you traveling to, they need two answers from you: the name of your school and the location of your school. Most cases, if they need more information, they will ask you. So that the answer to that question will simply mean just answer, tell you about your school and the location of your school. All right.
Okay.
And what are you going there to do?
I'm going to pursue a master's degree in computer and information science with a concentration in cloud computing and data management.
What's so special for you about this course? Or why did you choose this course?
I choose this course because it's not only a career advancement for me.
Use bullet
Having
points.
worked for
Use bullet points. I know you have something to say, but use bullet point because it helps you to sustain the attention of your VO. I always say that when you say I chose this course for 2 reasons, your VO will be like, okay, oh, 2 reasons. Okay, let me hear you exhaust those 2 reasons. They want to just pause and listen to you. They will not want to interrupt you unless you violate those bullet points by talking and talking and talking, or using and or also, using conjunctions to break that. Otherwise, they will want to listen to you. So I encourage people to use bullet points. All right. So why did you choose this course?
I this course for two reasons. First, because my experience working with tennis professional service has exposed me to a lot of hikes in cyber crimes, data breaches, interoperabilities, and hybrid cloud complexity. And I think a master's degree in this course would give me the skills to improve my technical competence in the implementation of centralized cloud solutions, increasing automation to mitigate the risk and vulnerability in the cloud domain in Nigeria. This course will also help me leverage businesses on cloud technologies to reduce infrastructural costs, enhance operational efficiency.
All right. Do you know everything you said here? I can just go online and Google it and produce it. Do you know that? Hmm? Yeah. So what I'm looking for, or what your VOs would possibly be looking for, are your attachment to what you said, to this course. What makes you stand out? What makes this course special to you? Why is it so personalized to you? That's what they're looking for. When you say, what did you study in your first degree?
I studied computer science.
Computer science. And what are you doing currently?
I'm a junior cloud engineer with tennis professional.
You are a cloud engineer. Remove that junior there. You are a cloud engineer. You see all those status things. Cloud engineer is a cloud engineer. It doesn't matter because you still do the work. So please present yourself as a cloud engineer. Keep that status stuff.
Okay.
And what are you going for?
I'm going for a master's degree in computer and information science.
Okay, master's in computer and info science. Now, if someone asks you why did you choose this course? You chose this course because you majored in your first degree. You majored in computer science in your first degree, and currently working as a cloud engineer. You mentioned the name of the company, and then you mentioned a problem. You mentioned a problem that you are encountering with the data breaches, cybersecurity problems, and all kinds of stuff. You mention it as a problem, but you don't have the tools. So you mention it in such a way that you are studying. You chose this course because you want to upgrade your experience. You want to upgrade your knowledge, so as to be able to serve your clients or your students or your organization. Then you talk about the current trends in communication technology, information communication technology. You talk about the current trends, and as technology continues to evolve and risk in technology continue to evolve and cyber problems and cyber security issues continue to evolve, you are also in need to continue to follow and tally along with these developments. Here's the reason why you want to upgrade yourself. It's understandable that outside the banking industry, cyber computer information outside the banking industry, the ICT world is the next industry. But the banking industry cannot do without the ICT world. So ICT world is the most regulated industry in the world. So anybody who understands that should understands that you need this upgrade. So I'm giving you ideas as a flesh to add to the bone. So I'm here to just guide the ideological wavelength, but you are the one who has the originality of this responses. Okay. All right. Yeah. So see how you can factor this experience. See where you can plug in this experience to be able to, spark conviction in the heart of your view. All right. So make it particular. Particularize the experience. Don't start the way you started by talking in a generalized sense, because anybody can say it. Anybody can go online and copy it. So make it your own. All right. All right. Then why did you choose this school?
I chose this school for three major reasons. Firstly, because I got fascinated led by the research work of Professor Jeffrey on his ongoing research in mitigating the risk and vulnerability posed by cyber crimes and data breaches on the businesses in the cloud domain. And this aligns with my career goal. And I also choose this group.
Mention that career. No. Hold on. Hello? Mention that career goal. That is what your VO wants to hear. Mention that career goal. When you mention it here, you save yourself the trouble of having your VO to ask you again about your career goal. That thing is making a lot of noise. So mention this career goal. Your VO wants to hear about this career goal.
But are you saying I should have mentioned it?
You should mention it. When you say it aligns with your career goal, mention that career goal. Your VO wants to hear it. That's what they're looking for.
Okay.
Otherwise, your statement will be ambiguous.
Okay.
Can you before you type, can you just mute your mic before you type? Because it's making a lot of noise. So can you respond? I want to hear why did you choose this course?
Why did I choose the school or the course?
Sorry, why did you choose the school? Sorry.
Okay, I chose this school for three major reasons. Firstly, because I got fascinated by the research work of Professor Jeffrey on his ongoing.
Hold on. Do you have scholarship?
Yes, I have a merit scholarship of $5,000.
Okay. So why are you not mentioning it? Why are you not giving yourself credit for that? Is this your first time with me?
Okay. The reason is a lot of people just mostly will tell you you don't mention the merit scholarship because it would sound as if the financial aid was why you've chosen the school, whether you should bring up something else. So that's why you mention it.
If you're with me, if you're here interviewing with me, please, I want you to mention it. You can decide whatever you want. You see, the problem is sometimes some of you want to go to these people. Some of them have not been to the embassy before, and they don't even know what is going on there. You are more or less listening to they say. They've not had these experiences. They've not attempted any visa interview. So next time, I want to encourage every one of you. When people start giving you suggestions, ask them, what is your background with this interview? Ask them about that. It's good to know who is leading you. Because you end up hearing they say. Let me give you an instance. If you go to the market to buy something and somebody is offering you, okay, let me give you an instance. If you have three schools, the first one offered you a scholarship of 5,000. The second one offered you a scholarship of 10,000. Another one didn't offer you anything. Which one would you follow? Which school would you take? Be reasonable.
I would choose the one that offered me 10,000.
Why? Why?
Yeah, because of the funding.
So why is someone telling you that you can't choose a school because of the funding? You see, there's no common sense there. The common thing to believe and to understand is that someone is giving you a scholarship to reduce your fee. And you are there saying someone is telling you that it's because of that. That is not what they're looking for. In fact, let me tell you, the more scholarship you have, the more easier you make your interview. The more easier you make your interview go for, the more easier it is for you to have your visa. Because when you mention your scholarship to your VO, you are simply telling your VO that you are also a smart person. Some scholarships are merit-based. Some scholarships are awarded because of your excellent academic record, but you have to give yourself credit for that. So anybody telling you those crap, I don't know why they're saying that, but it's not true. And you just answered it's not realistic. So for the sake of this, You can, when you go there, do whatever you want to do. But for the sake of this session with me, please, I want you to include it. So first of all, you begin with a reference. Talk about a reference. How you got about this school, how you got to know about this school. Sometimes they always want to know about how you got to know this school. If you have someone who has been to this school before and who referred you to the school, it's a plus for you. So always mention that.
Okay.
And then you give yourself credit for the scholarship. Based on your excellent academic record, you are awarded a scholarship to the tune of blah, 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 which covers blah, 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 and all that. Give yourself credit for that. Don't mind anybody telling you, don't mention it. You're looking for something to reduce your money, and somebody's saying all that. Then the third one is where you now mention the research that aligns with your program. So the first two are important. The last one is also important. Where you now mention the research that aligns with your program. So the first two are important. The last one is also important. All right?
All right.
Yeah. And who will be covering the remaining deficit of your program?
My beloved mother will be covering the rest of my deficit. She earns a
No. Hold on. I don't need all those details. That's why I said this is recorded. So, your mother, yes. All our mothers are beloved. So there's no need for highlights on that. There's no need for you to put a highlight on it. All right? Yeah. So how long have you worked with this organization?
I've worked for 3 years and 8 months now.
Okay. Then they may want to know, why is your mother paying for you if you are working?
Okay. Actually, haven't worked for 3 years and 8 months. I've been able to save some money, but my mother will be covering my deficit because I'm the only child she's left to take care of.
All right, so that's a good reason. Okay, mothers are very passionate about the development of their son, so of their children. I will not question that, but I just want to question because you said you are working. So someone will just want to know, why is your mother paying for you if you are working? Yeah, and your answer is okay. Yes, I've saved enough money for this, but my mother, being my mother, wants to be part of my success story. Did you see how I put it? Yeah, my mother, being my mother, wants to be part of my success story. So I have no objection to that. So she wants me to keep my money when I start school, I can use it. But she wants to be part of my success story. Does it make sense? Does it make sense how I put it?
No, it makes sense. It makes a lot of.
All right. And are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have dependents?
I'm not even married, but I'm in a committed relationship.
No. Hold on. Those are not necessary. The question is yes or no answer. Are you married? No. Do you have kids? No. Or yes?
No.
If they need more information, they will ask you. So don't answer what they didn't ask you. And remember, relationship is not legally binding. So I want you to always remember that relationships are not legally binding on anybody. So the only one that is binding on you is marriage. So, all right, so far so good. Go back to this and see how you can work on some of the things that we just touched, and you're good to go. Congratulations. You're welcome. And please subscribe, okay? All right, please don't forget, subscribe, share, and like. Next person, please.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, so you're going this week, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is this your first visa interview?
Yes, it's my first.
Okay. And have you traveled out of the country before?
No, I haven't. Upon your approval today, it will be my first time. I haven't had any reasons to before.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to say you haven't had any. The answer to the question is a yes or no answer. Don't try to explain. Yeah, it's a yes or no answer. So, where are you traveling to?
I'm going to Indiana University, Purdue University, Indianapolis, for my master's in
Hold on. Don't go more than that. The question is, where are you traveling to? You mentioned your school. Were you here when I started with the last speaker?
Why you video?
Were you here when I interviewed the first speaker?
Yes,
Were
I was.
Were you listening?
Yes, I was.
So why did you repeat his mistake?
I'm sorry, I forgot.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's just for you to learn from other people. That's why we are all listening, so that you can learn from also other people. So when they ask you that question, what they want to hear mostly is talk about your school and the location of your school. If they need more information about that, they will ask you. They will ask you. Trust me. So where are you traveling to? I'm traveling to Indiana State University in Indiana. What are you going there to do? Continue.
I'm going to pursue my master's in bioinformatics.
In bioinformatics. So what did you major in your first degree?
Biochemistry. I majored in biochemistry.
So what is so special for you about this course?
The ongoing research aligns with my ongoing research as my current place of work. So that's why. And before now, there's been job openings on this position, and there was no bioinformatics applicant. So going for this will be giving me the rare opportunity of coming back to the first bioinformatics.
Hold on, your outing is very poor, and it's a red flag, and you can feel it, right? Can you feel it? Can you feel it that your what is it called in chess? Your gambit, like your opening move, is a red flag. Did you notice it that it used poorly? You started poorly. Did you notice it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Now let's look at it again. You studied microbiology, right?
No, biochemistry.
Okay, biochem. And then you are going for what?
Bioinformatics.
Bioinfo. And what are you doing currently?
Currently, I work at Federal University, Kogi State, Lokoja, at the Department of.
No, you don't have to give me the details. Hold on. Listen, this is online. I don't want your detailed information on this channel. Okay, I just need what you're doing. Where are you working currently, or what are you doing currently?
I'm currently a graduate teaching and research assistant at the chemistry and biochemistry department.
Good. Just let it be. Hold on. Don't go into those details. So you are currently doing something that is related to what you studied, right?
Yes.
Good. Now, if they ask you why did you choose this course, remember I mentioned bullet points, right?
Yes.
Good. Now, when they ask you why did you choose this course, I chose this course for 3 reasons. First, I majored in biochem in my first degree, and having been working as a research assistant in this university and teaching my students, I feel the need to upgrade my experience because of the new trends and developments in this area of studies since after I graduated. Secondly, I chose this course because of some of the problems that I've encountered in this area. We talk about a problem in your field. There are problems. There has to be a problem. You talk about a problem that you encountered, but you don't have the capacity to handle this problem. Hence the reason why you are going to upgrade your knowledge. Then you can talk about the research that you're doing. And this research needs a higher understanding, a higher knowledge. And incidentally, you found that this school that you're going to at Indiana, the professors there have already have solution to it. They have a research they are doing that tallies well with what you want to do. Break these things in practical sense. That's what your interviewers are looking for. And you have an advantage. Your course is a STEM course. You belong to an institution, so it's easier to connect well.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
All right. So don't forget that you can go back on this video 30 and look at it and listen to it again. Then why did you choose this school?
I choose this school because unlike other, why this school? I choose this school basically for 3 reasons. One is because the ongoing research at Indiana University Purdue University perfectly aligns with the ongoing research in my current research, which is based on molecular basis of neurodegenerative disorders. Secondly, like the point you gave me, I have to go and work on them because what I had, my story is different from this, so I have to go and work on it.
All right. So it simply means you are memorizing these answers. Don't memorize it because you have to engage your interviewer like in a conversational manner. If you memorize it, you go there and tension catches you, you are in trouble.
Yeah.
So you have to avoid anything that will lead you to fall into that trap. Once you get choked up by tension, you're gone. Like you'll be struggling to remember a lot of things. So I will encourage you, go back to this video. When they ask you about why did you choose this course, why did you choose this school? Simply begin with, I chose this school for 3 reasons. First, you talk about references. If you have people who have been to this school, mention them, use them as a leverage. People who recommended the school, talk about them. Secondly, do you have a scholarship?
Yes, I have. I have a GRE.
How much is the scholarship?
Just 10 hours per week, which is $8,552.
Good. So mention it. Give yourself credit for that. Based on your excellent research and academic records, you are awarded this. You mention it, which covers this. Mention it. And then the third one, you talk about the research that is being conducted in the school, which is similar or which aligns well with what you want to do. And it has all the solutions to solve a problem that you're working on. You mentioned that problem. Talk about that problem. Your VO wants to hear that problem. Use your language, your molecular, whatever. They want to hear it. So then, who is covering the remaining deficit of your program?
I and my husband will be covering the deficit of this my program. I have a personal savings of 22,000 equivalent of 18 million naira.
You don't have to mention that. I want as much as we can not to have your personal information. I've been saying that since we started. You have to know that this is recorded. I want you to keep that offline. Okay. So they may want to know who your husband is and why he's not traveling with you, because they may want to know, is he traveling with you, even though they know he's not traveling, but they may want to know, is he traveling with you in this trip, on this trip?
No, he's not traveling. He's currently busy in Southern Kaduna expanding the family business, so he's not physically available.
Has he traveled before out of the country?
Yeah, he's been to China and India for his business exploitation.
Okay. So these are some of the background questions. Do you have kids? Do you have dependents?
Yeah, I have 2 kids. One is 10 years and in a boarding school. While this one who is going with me is just 7 years. So him going with me is going to give me full concentration because I won't have to think back if he's been working.
Hold on. You are talking too much. Allow the interviewer to ask you questions. Avoid this trouble. I know what I'm saying. Avoid it. Allow the interviewer to lead in the conversation. When you start talking like this, you may think you're providing information. That is not what they need. They know what they're looking for. When you lead, you divert, you become diversionary, and you set up that red flag. Allow them to lead. Give as little as they ask. When your interviewer says, "Is your husband traveling with you?" the answer is yes or no. No. They may want to, if they are interested, they may want to know why he's not traveling. Or you can say, no, he's not traveling with me. He has something going on, within the period I'll be traveling. Period. Coincidentally, he has a program going on within the time he'll be traveling, so he won't be there with me. But he will be coming later to see me. He'll be visiting later to see me. Then, do you have kids? Do you have kids?
Hello?
Do you have kids?
Yes, I have 2 kids.
What are their age?
The first one is 10 years old, and the second one here with me is 7 years old.
When you say here with me, is the baby traveling with you to the embassy?
Yes.
All right. So that's fine. So the one traveling with you, who will be taking care of him?
I have discussed with my dear personal person, and she has recommended a good fit, which is one the Phillips Academy. This school is located inside the school campus. So going to school, I'll be dropping him off and coming back. I'll be picking him up because looking at my timetable, my lecture.
Can you slow down? Can you slow down? Can you slow down? Take a deep breath. You're nervous now. That's why you're speaking so fast. The question is, who will be taking care of your baby?
I'll be enrolling him at the Phillips Academy, which is also located inside the school campus. So going to school, I'm dropping him off and coming back. Hold
on. You have not answered the question. The question is, who will be taking care of your baby? I will be taking care of the baby. Period.
Okay, I'll be taking care of him.
I'll be taking care of the baby. So the question now will be, how do you intend to take care of your baby when you're in school? Now you can say, well, the school where I'll be studying also has a daycare where I'll be dropping off my baby when I go to school, and at the end of my studies, I'll pick him back, and then we'll go home.
Okay.
That is understandable. You see all this grammar you are speaking, all this, please save it. Save it for yourself. Save it. I know why I'm saying this, so that I don't ignite question from question.
Okay.
I've been saying it since we started, so that you remember that I said this. I said this to a lady today, and a few days ago, and she was denied visa today because of some of this, unnecessary information. They're not necessary. Then back to the question. How long have you been married?
I've been married for 11 years now.
Okay. And okay. All right. So I just want you to work on this area. You see this area with traveling with your baby, your husband not coming. Please just iron out that area very well. There is a way you present that case, and it looks like you're hiding something or something is going on. And there's also a way you present it and you make your argument very straight. And the fewer words you use, the better for you. This is my own suggestion. All right. Remember, since you are traveling with a dependent, they may want to know who will be sponsoring this baby, paying for his education overseas. So you need to have all that information finalized. All right. So you have to, by now, you start speaking to the school. Make sure you have all that information, like things ready. They may not ask you, but if they ask you, just for them to know that yes, you are on top of your game. Okay. All right. So far, so good. Thank you so much, just go back to the video and rehearse and revise some of the things we just mentioned. And please remember to like the video, subscribe and share. Okay?
No, I'm done already. I'm subscribed.
All right, thank you. So go back and share and like. Thank you. The next person, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, before your interview, if we have time, we can interview again. Yes. Who is next?
Yeah, I'm next. Good evening.
Good evening. Is this your first interview?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And have you traveled out of the country before?
No, I haven't.
All right. So where are you traveling to this time?
I'm traveling to University of New Haven, Connecticut.
What are you going there to do?
I'm going there for my master's degree in business administration.
So what did you major in your first degree?
I majored in English literature and language.
So what are you doing currently?
I currently work as a PR and communications advisor in a leading firm in Nigeria.
So why did you choose this course?
I chose this course because of three things. Firstly, I've been in the creative industry for over 7 years now, and I feel like I've come to a place where I need to up my experience in order to be able to serve and service the needs of my clients better. Secondly, I noticed that there's a bigger gap in the Nigerian creative industry, and that became obvious when I started working in my current company. I noticed that the core business administrators find it difficult to manage the creative guys, that is the designers, the writers, the video creators that we have. And so that is a problem.
So
my thoughts, yes.
You went, it's called tabla rasa. You went into empty slate. So this is danger of memorizing conversation. Let it flow. So far, so good. Like I connected with you. You convinced me. I was just waiting to, like, at the end, I'll be like, congratulations, I'm going to approve your visa. That's what I was waiting for. So far, so good. But why did you have to? And the place where you started having this problem was when you mentioned the divide, the gap, and you didn't fill in that void. That gap is a loophole. When you are mentioning something, avoid, when you are trying to mention a problem, mention the problem. Avoid anything that has to do with ambiguous statements. So you've noticed that in the creative industry or in the business world today, there are loopholes because of what Nigeria is currently going on in terms of development and businesses, business uplift, or business, the level of businesses in Nigeria are struggling because of the challenges, economic challenges we're having. So based on these experiences, the creative industry is being affected or is not left alone in this whole situation. But it's creating more problems for your industry. Hence the reason why you are embarking on this course to be able to find solution to solve these economic challenges that you're having. There's so many ways you can tackle it. You can tackle this problem when you mention the challenges that businesses are having in Nigeria today. And then in terms of your PR area of specialization, you can factor that in as well. So do we have a problem in Nigeria? Yes. Every institution, every organization is going through a challenge, and the institutions are looking for a way to get out of these challenges. How do you get out of this? This is a reason. So you have to look for a problem, identify a problem, and talk about that problem. Okay. So the reason why I'm saying identify a problem is it's easier for you to look into your organization and think of a problem you're having there, administrative problem you're having, policy problem you're having. Then you talk about it. Creative industry, you are also, the reason why you choose a course is because of the some of the solutions you are also bringing into the industry when it comes to your interfaces with state governments and state culture and tourism industry. You have all those assets, like you have an um, uh, unlimited access to um, uh, you know
problems and solutions.
So it's up to you to harness each and every one of these. But I always encourage people, go into your organization, look for a problem. That problem you look for in your organization it will be easier for you to remember, and it will be easier for you to address. But when you try to factor a problem from the air, you may not be able to address it because that is not going to help you. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
So far,
I don't know if I.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can ask me that question again. Maybe I can try one more time. If that won't take too much of our time.
So, why did you choose this course?
I chose this course because of three things. Firstly, I've been working in the creative industry for over 7 years now, and I feel like I've come to a level of, should I call it stagnation in quotes, a level where I think I need to up my experience to be able to serve and service the needs of my clients better. Secondly, I noticed that there's a bigger gap to be filled in the Nigerian creative industry, and that became obvious in my current role where I currently work. I noticed that the core business administrators find it difficult to manage the creative guys, the designers, the video creators, and all of that. And I want to enforce policies and rules of engagement to be able to better manage and efficiently manage creatives. And the only way I can do this is to pursue this degree in business administration. And finally, I want to be able to create a venture in Nigeria in the future to help creatives also become great business managers. Who says creatives can be business managers themselves?
How do you feel about your answers?
I think they seem a little bit choreographed. They need to flow better.
Okay. Now, I'm happy that you are using your industry word to talk about it. So you go back into the drawing board. If you have need to help me rephrase the idea, we can also interface again. But so far, so good. My work is not to tell you what to say. My work is to guide your ideological wavelengths. Okay. All right. So why did you choose this school?
I chose this school because of three things. Firstly, I got a recommendation from a CEO who I've been working with. He told me how experiential and excellent their teaching is. Secondly, based on my excellent academic records, I got a Dean scholarship of 30% in this school. And finally, this school was one of the top 75 best MBA colleges in the world as at 2021. And even right now, we still boast excellent academic environment.
Please, hello. Save yourself the energy of celebrating this school that you have not been to. Please.
Okay.
Yeah. Focus on yourself. Leave this school. Use that time to talk about your points. That's what you need. Forget about the school for now. You know why?
Okay.
Because if you talk about a school and your VO happens to know that school and that what you're saying is not true, that's a red flag. Sometimes when you start talking so much about school, you see them typing. You didn't know that they are just Googling that school. And they Google that school and what you're saying is not popping up. My brother, you don't shoot yourself or let go. So I usually tell people, instead of trying to celebrate a school that you have not been part of, please serve that energy on your point. Use that energy to talk about the program that you are working on, that this school has similar thing that they can help you to resolve or to solve. Don't celebrate no school. You don't need it. Unless you're going to Harvard, you're going to Cambridge, those schools are, they are, class A. Everybody knows. Even if you are going to such school, once you go to the interview, they usually don't deny visas unless you go there you didn't know what to say yes, because they take time through rigorous processes to admit people. So your VOs will never deny you visas in most cases from those schools. Yeah. So when you come with campuses that people don't know, and then you come there to celebrate them, just be very careful. So who is paying? Yeah, please just forget it. It's not going to add anything to your point. So, who is sponsoring? Who is paying for the remaining deficit of your program?
My dad. My dad is. He has also sponsored. He also sponsored my sister to study in the United Kingdom. She's currently back in Nigeria working in an insurance firm. Actually, he's doing this because he wants us to get access to opportunities that he didn't have at a young age.
Good. And also, he saved funds for that. Your dad also saved funds for that. He had all that saved when, these are the plans he had for every one of you. Anyone who wants to travel, I have funds saved for every one of you. Like those kind of stuff. So the reason why it's good that you mentioned that that trend, is to help the interviewer to understand there's a pattern here. I always encourage people to mention it. If you have someone, who has studied overseas, mention it at that moment. It gives you credit. Because the VO will be like, okay, if you have a family member who has been overseas and respected the visa policies and came back, that's a good point to say, okay, you are likely going to come back. All right. So, Are you married? Do you have kids? Do you have dependents?
No, I don't.
All right.
I'm not married.
Then when you mention you worked for 7 years, it's also important to say, I've saved money for this, but my dad had funds, he saved. Or you mentioned my dad would be sponsoring me. He also sponsored my younger sister or my sister who has, when you finish that point, also mention that you also have funds saved for this, but your dad will want you to, keep it for the rainy days. To keep your personal funds when you get to school, you can use it. So all those kind of stuff. Parental sponsorship is stronger. So just remember that, just to add more flesh to your point. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. So far so good. Congratulations. I like your comportment. I like your temperance. I like the fact that you don't feel tensed up. So that's a good plus. So all these are things that your VO looks at. And so the next thing is just your appearance, your demeanor. Be cheerful, but don't be cheerful, but don't go there laughing. And be serious, be comported, but everything will go well. I strongly believe if you follow, our discussion. So the questions may come this way or may not come this way, but just for you to know that, understand how you can answer these questions, and wherever the questions are going or coming from, you'll be able to address it. All right.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much. So, I wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Who else?
On Thursday, actually. Thank you.
Okay, on Thursday. So, if I have time tomorrow, we should still have another interview. I'm off tomorrow, so if I have time, I'll still come up and then we have another interview. And then at the end of that, I wish you all the best, all of you the best.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I'll be on standby.
Sure, I'll post that again for everybody to join. Who else is ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Is this your first visa interview?
Yes.
And yeah, Miss Yolua, please subscribe, like, and subscribe, like, and share.
Yes,
right?
that's done.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so somebody posted something on YouTube. So yeah, so I like it when people go there to engage. I like it when people go there to engage the YouTube. I really appreciate that. So I'm just replying to what somebody just mentioned there. I think it's Ayodele. Ayodele says today's takeaway: spend more time to talk about yourself and save yourself the energy of glorifying your school. Yes, if it's a school that you've not been to and you don't know so much about it, please just save your energy. If it's a school that everybody knows, if you talk about um, Harvard, Cambridge, everybody knows, like they are stellar schools. You can talk about it. But if it's a school that nobody knows so much, please just save yourself. Use that energy, channel that energy on yourself. All right, Udo Akabasi, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, so where you
Yes.
this is your first interview, right?
Yes, sir.
Have you traveled out of the country before?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No, I've not traveled out of the country before.
Okay, so where are you traveling to?
I'm traveling to University of Colorado, Boulder.
What are you going there to do?
I'm going to pursue a master's program in finance with a specialization in investment management.
Specialization in what?
Investment management.
What did you do in your first degree?
I studied accounting.
And what are you doing currently?
Currently, I work as a relationship officer and financial analyst at a leading commercial bank in Nigeria.
Okay. All right. So, what is so special to you about this financial investment? Why did you choose this course?
So, as a financial analyst and a relationship officer, managing the accounts of big corporates, large multinationals operating in Nigeria.
Hold on. This is a poor outing. Can you feel it?
Oh.
Can you feel it?
Okay.
Can you feel you're having a poor outing? Can you feel it?
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Okay, so your outing is poor because when they ask you why did you choose this course, this is a time to celebrate yourself, to give yourself the kudos you need. So what you need simply do is talk about your history past, your history present, and your history future. That's why I was asking you, what did you study? What are you doing? All that, I want to have a connection. So simply put, you majored in accounting in your first degree, and currently you're working as a relationship blah 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 with a bank. You mentioned the bank as a financial officer, and having been working in this company for the past number of years, you mentioned the number of years, you are finding yourself limited in your experience to continue to handle some of the current problems that are facing your organization. Then you mentioned those problems. Then that is the reason why you chose this course. Secondly, in the financial world, with what Nigeria is going through today, every organization is trying to hire individuals to help them to cover up or block some of the ways that they are losing monies or making unnecessary expenses or trying to help to upgrade their projects or their plans and whatever. You are making this embarking on this program to be able to get more knowledge, to be able to serve your company in this capacity to help in solving this problem. So simply put, look for a problem in your organization, talk about it like a case study. That's what they want to hear. And being a financial officer, use those banking terms and talk about it. That is what your VOs are looking for. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
So
the problem that I had actually thought of was that recently in my organization we had to take on some very serious regulatory sanctions because in the course of giving out credit facilities and all, we had kind of excluded some key ESG requirements, that's environmental, social, and governance considerations, which is like sustainability finance, which is a key part of SDGs, right? And that was one of the things that actually attracted me to the school, because when I went through like the course outline, I saw that sustainable finance is one thing that they are very passionate about, and somehow they infuse it, they have like a very strong handshake, so that as you're going through the investment management track, you're also it's like they are also consciously hitting the whole sustainable finance thing.
But let me save you the long thought, because you can't present this way to your VO, right? Because you don't have that time. You are slow and you are hitching the conversation. So is there any way you can summarize it? Just like I just said earlier, they need these bullet points. Make it straight, short, and simple. Go straight to the point. Those key points, strike them first. When they ask you, like I mentioned, you talk about your background, what you studied, what you're doing currently, and then the problem in your organization that is triggering you to do this course. Then secondly, talk about another problem that you want to, mitigate in your organization. Talk about how much your organization is spending to hire professionals, whereas you are also, whereas you are being promoted for all the good things you're doing in the organization, that you also want to use this opportunity to study this course to be able to save your organization from hiring professionals from other banks, to save your internal security, to save your internal information and everything, because you can't be hiring people from other banks to help you solve your problem, whereas you are an internal member. These are also problems, the reason why you can do a course. Does it make sense?
Yeah, yes, it actually does.
Okay, so I'm just giving what do you say?
I have to put all of that together again.
Good. So go back to the video. Is on the 63 hour. Go back to it and then watch it and see what I'm trying to say. So all these things are backgrounds you need to use to add flesh to your argument. Then secondly, do you have a scholarship?
Yes, I have a $10,000 scholarship.
Good. Now, good. Now, being in finance, being in account department, I'm sure you must have done those. What is that financial stuff that you guys take? Is it ICANN or whatever? Did you take ICANN?
Yes.
Good. ICANN is a big organization, a big body that you meet people all the time. Banking industry is a big organization that you meet people all the time. So you talk about when they ask you, why did you choose this school? You chose this school because of references from your colleagues, from people you've met in the financial industry who have been part of this school. There has to be people who have been part of this school. So based on the recommendations from them, that's the reason why you chose this school, because you were highly recommended. If they ask you, did you choose other schools? Did you apply to other schools? How many schools? It's up to you to say you applied to this school, or you say you didn't have any need to apply because you were highly recommended. You got a good recommendation about the school, so you didn't want to shop around. And then if you want to mention you shopped around, make sure you're shopping around if you have scholarships. If you don't have scholarships, please. I usually encourage people, it's unnecessary. So it's just sometimes just for you to find a way to put your argument. So if they ask you why did you choose this school, you talk about your reference, talk about your scholarship, celebrate yourself based on your excellent academic record and your research. You were awarded a scholarship to the tune of 10,000, which covers payment of part of your school fees and all that. And then you now talk about the last one. You talk about the problem in the third bullet point. You talk about a problem in your organization that you are planning to solve, which aligns with what you're doing. All right? All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I know it sounds confusing, but go back to the video and see how this can help.
Yes, I will do that.
And then, who is covering the remaining deficit of your program?
So the remaining deficit will be covered by my father-in-law, who is very passionate about our education, and okay, I'll just stop there.
See,
Should I continue?
Be very careful. You see that comment you wanted to add? Please be very careful. Even the way you start your conversation, it's poorly constructed. When somebody asks you who is covering for the remaining deficit of your program, you first of all take a deep breath. So the remaining part of, please don't do that. Who is covering for the remaining part of your deficit, or who is covering for your remaining balance of your program? My father-in-law, period. If the person is wondering why is your father-in-law sponsoring you, what would you say? Why is he sponsoring you?
He's very passionate about education, and I had saved funds to cover for it, but he decided to fund it so I could use the money to take care of myself while in school.
Period. Did you see how that argument went? It's simple. He's a very passionate educationist who likes to be part of. Has he sponsored people overseas?
Yes.
Please don't use hello.
No.
Hello.
I'm sorry.
Avoid I've said it before. Your outing is poor. Talk like someone who is sure and someone who is assertive, someone who is like affirmative. Don't use poor outing. It tells very, very negative things about your argument. So I'll ask you again, has your father-in-law sponsored anybody overseas?
Yes, he sponsored his first son to study his first degree at South Africa, and he's back in the country. But this is the reason why I was rethinking it, because he just completed his master's degree in the US. Like, his first degree was sponsored by his father, but for his master's, it was fully funded. He got a fully funded scholarship, and he's there in the US. Like, he just finished his
Hold on. Why are you mentioning the US when he sponsored him in South Africa? Did he sponsor him in the US? No. So why are you mentioning it? You see how you bring another conversation and you get in trouble? Did you see it now?
So I just like that.
Don't say so. The answers are there. Your father-in-law sponsored his son in South Africa. Period. So why are you bringing US? He didn't sponsor him. You said it was fully funded. So why are you bringing him?
No, because the reason why I said that was because I was going to say he's back in the country.
Of course, he sponsored his son. He's back in the country, or he returned back to the country. Period.
Okay.
He sponsored his first son. He returned back to the country. You've not stated the obvious. You've not denied the obvious. There are some ways you can make comments without affirming or denying. But when you start going to that US issue, you put yourself in trouble. Do you understand me?
Yes.
So it's better to leave your virtue in the middle. Instead of giving too much information and shoot yourself on the leg, you better not bring it up. But the reason why I said I said this so that when you are mentioning your father-in-law is sponsoring you, use that as also a pattern. He also sponsored his first son. He also sponsored his first son. Or if you have other family members or your sibling, you also mentioned he also sponsored this person, who has been overseas and who studied here and is back in the country. Period. Are you married? Do you have kids? Yes, you said you're married.
Yes, I'm married, but we don't have kids.
Okay. Then is your husband traveling with you? Or why is he not
Yes.
traveling with you?
Wait, he's a dependent, but the plan is not for him to come.
How do you mean what do you mean by he's a dependent?
Yeah?
What do you mean by he's a dependent?
He also has the F2 visa. We are going for the interview together.
Okay, you're going for the F2 together, the visa together.
Yes.
Okay, so at that moment he should be the one answering for himself. They will ask you, and then they will ask him as well. All right?
Okay. Yes.
So when is your interview?
On Friday.
Okay, before Friday, if I have time, we may have to touch on it again. Maybe about this time, just holler at me. Okay. I'll be at work on Friday, but holler at me about this time.
What do you advise that we say for him? Because, like I said, the plan is not for him to come with me as I'm leaving in August now. He's supposed to come like in December. But we're going for the visa interview together.
He's traveling with you just to help you settle in, get things. You are nervous when you are changing it. If I'm him, that's why I would want to speak with him. Most people, when they are changing into a new environment, they get nervous. How long have you been married?
4 years.
4 years. So your marriage is still fragile. So most people, when they are traveling into a new environment, they are nervous. So he's coming with you to help you settle in while you go about your orientation, and then he will help you, sort out your accommodations and help you settle in with all the needs without being distracted in your orientation. Period.
Okay, thank you.
So he's going there is just simply to help you. He'll be there for a couple of weeks. 2 weeks is okay to help you settle in.
Okay. So my orientation period has already started like this. My classes will begin by Monday, 28th of August.
It's not your fault. You didn't get your visa interview on time, so you still have to settle in. Okay. You can't be settling in and be in class. So because your school is already you are behind schedule, so he will help you to just take care of things. So you have to clean the house, you have to get your properties, you have to get things settled in. Yes, someone has to be doing that while you focus on school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. All right, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Please do that. Don't forget.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Chidebere, you there? You want to interview, or are we rounding up tonight? All right. Thank you all for being here with me, for sharing your comments, your concerns, and your interview questions with me. I hope my responses and my answers were able to help you address some of your concerns during this interview. Please join me again in the next video and share, like, and comment. I wish you all the best as you continue to join me in this, and may God bless you. Good night.